Okay, on to it then. So, like I was saying in the previous vid, when I bought Legacy books second hand, someone just threw this book in for free, which is quite cool. You can see it's quite old condition. I'm going to try and sell this, probably bundle it in there, but make it a free gift. Because yeah, I'm keeping NJ, but I hated Legacy so much I'm not keeping those books. They don't deserve to go on my shelf, like my favourite ones. So yeah, this is 2 years after, as it says on the back. 2 years have passed since the death of the brutal Sith Lord Darth Caedus, once known as Jason Solo. So yeah, Millennium Falcon. This is kind of like an origin story for the Falcon. So yeah, spoilers for Legacy of the Force, NGO, basically everything up to this, and a brief mention of Revenge of the Sith. So, don't know if you remember actually in the film Revenge of the Sith, right after Anakin flies the invisible hand ship down to Coruscant, you do see, it's a later scene on Coruscant, you see the Millennium Falcon flying past, and it's like, it's just one of the Corellian ships, right? Was it the Falcon? This book confirms it was the Falcon, as I always knew. Basically, you get a bit of a history lesson, go back to like the point the Falcon was built, I think 100 years before this series, meaning like well before Han and Lando got hold of it. So, yeah, anyway. Now, the only problem this book has is that it's set after the Legacy of Force book, so you got Alana, or Amelia, with Han and Leia, and they have constant references to how Jaina's holding up, what Jason did, etc. If this had been written after NJO when those things hadn't happened, it could have just been a story about the Falcon and then the good stuff of the galaxy that happened, rebuilding since the war of the Yuuzhan Vong. So yeah, ignoring that stuff though, it's still a good book, basically. Again, the contrivance, so bad. Alana finds some object on the Falcon that somehow never been sent, it's not even by Leia, which basically leads them to go and find history. Han figures, the war's over, they've got this time now, they've got a granddaughter to show around, why not go and look at the Falcon's history? And it basically goes all the way from when it was built to the people who've owned it, such as during the prequel era, which is great. James O'Cino, author, wrote some of my favourites in prequel trilogy as well as this, as well as this book. And he basically goes through the history, like where it was during the prequels and the OT before Lando got it, Lando won it, and then Han won it off of him. And then you get like what that character is basically ended up in stasis for 60 odd years after the events of during the events of Revenge of the Sith, how he ended up like awake, and his journey to get a Falcon. He's basically told there's something that could restore honor to the Republic that some Senators and Jedi gave him a mission to do, and basically that treasure's gone. That's the ending. So yeah, it's a good story, good stuff with Alana, her actually wanted to get a pet, which is quite cool, because in Star Wars no one has pets, and screw you Disney Star Wars, Chewbacca is not raised pets. Let's throw that in. Yeah, one of my favourite YouTubers, Thor Skywalker, did a video, Chewbacca not her pet, in his like ranking thing, and where Chewbacca got his go. So yeah, basically they're looking at doing that, and there's just a lot of stuff going on, like dangerous event things. Han and Leia are still fighting, Han must be in his 70s by now, but he's still like extremely good at flying, even if C3PO likes to remind him he's not. That's all great with his guns. It's just the usual sort of stuff. It's a good mystery. A lot of things going on with other characters, so it can be a bit, feels like, I don't know, they cut some of this stuff down, maybe more just like a novel just of Han going through the history without these other characters, but it works well enough. There's a bit, a bit of backstabbing, etc. Overall, it's a good story, but it's harmed ultimately by being tied to Legacy of the Force. But if you were to ignore that stuff completely, let's just pretend it's 2 years after. 2 years have passed since the deaths of the Yuuzhan Vong Supreme Overlord Shinra and his puppet Yonmi. Yeah, I could have told the same story, and then you get the good stuff in there. But like I mentioned in the previous video, Han thinks about how it would have been nice for his son to fly around the galaxy in the Falcon with Chewbacca's son, because if he'd left the Falcon to Jason, which is a nice idea. And yeah, maybe he'll leave it to Jaina one day, who knows. Yeah, that's kind of it. Good extra characters. Again, it's nice seeing the Falcon's history and where it's come from, and it's 100 years old and still more or less works. And yeah, it's just great that, Han's true love, much like in Doc 2, the TARDIS is the Doctor's true love, no question about that. And yeah, well, he obviously loves Leia, and his children, but yeah, Falcon is obviously it's got a different relationship with, and it's nice to view its history, really, just see where it was all the time, and confirmation that blink and you'll miss it Falcon at the moment, episode 3 was indeed this one. So yeah, that's it. Good book, nice ending. My favourite authors. I wonder why he wasn't part of Legacy of Force books, I've got to admit. But yeah, definitely a good one. And when I sell these books off, I hope whoever buys the set, assuming that person gets all buys all 9 together rather than me listing one at a time. I hope not. I hope I have to do that. Enjoys this. But yeah, so that's it. So this is basically my ending to the EU, because yeah, I hated Legacy of Force and Fate of the Jedi. I gave it a couple of weeks after I read those books, and fact, recently I actually went through Wikipedia and read the outcome of every book, and it didn't impress me. I know some people said give it a chance, but the bulk of people who hated Legacy tend to hate Fate of the Jedi, so I was like, yeah, I'll just read what happens. So yeah, some good things there, but it's just too much dumb stuff in, and it's just repeating what we've already had. So yeah, so that's it. So anyone enjoying these vids, just let you know I won't be doing Fate of the Jedi. I mean, even if someone bought me the books, yeah, I'd probably read them then, but I wouldn't ask someone to. I wouldn't say waste your money, and I certainly won't be spending my money on them. There, to me, the Legacy 4 series ends at the New Jedi Order, and then they all lived happily after. But yeah, so that's it. So with that being the end of the EU, there's still other books I've not actually read yet. Like I recently picked up the Dark Star ones, figured I'd get some Clone Wars books. And I've had the Yoda Dark One Food book on my list for a while. Still quite a few other ones to read. Raid Squadron books. I'm not done with old EU yet, but at the moment it's the new Thrawn trilogy, and then it'll be some of the older ones, like a bit of a mixture. But in terms of like the way the story ends, well, that's the problem. Disney shut it down. We'll never get Jaina's Sword of the Jedi storyline, which sucks. But yeah, it's a mixture of old and new. So I'm still got plenty more Star Wars books to go. But yeah, they will run out eventually. But yeah, that's it. So I will see you next time.